here, it's probably because you are interested in joining the British Army, the UK Army as a Commonwealth citizen. Exciting news. From August 19th to 25th of August 2024, the UK Army is opening its application process to citizens from 56 Commonwealth countries. But one key requirement is that you must have a UK host who can support you during your physical interview in the UK. So today, I'm going to be sharing 7 ways to find a host in the UK. And we'll talk about the importance of maintaining social capital long before you need help from these people. So let's dive right in. If you are seeing my face for the first time, my name is Eva Mtali. And here on the channel, we talk mostly about relocation. We talk about moving abroad. We talk about traveling abroad, whether that is for leisure, for work, for business, for study, permanently or temporarily. So this is the place to be if you are looking to immigrate from your home country and you have no shame about it. Yeah. For us here, we believe that the main reason that God did not give us roots is so that we can move. And that's why I always say, you are not a tree, please move. So let me know in the comment section below if you can hear me well. And also do say hello in the comment section below. Let me know where are you watching me from. And of course, guys, you know how we roll here. Do give the video a thumbs up because it's free and it helps to motivate me. It helps to let the algorithms know that there's exciting stuff happening here and they should send a lot more traffic our way. So before we jump into the different ways you can find a UK host for your interview in the UK to join the British Army, let's talk about social capital. Yeah, so social capital is all about the relationships and networks you build over time. Thank you so much for those who have confirmed that you can hear me. Robert, Gambia blog, thank you so much. I appreciate you. So it's crucial to maintain and nurture these connections way before you actually need help. And this means keeping in touch, offering help whenever you can, and of course, building genuine relationships. Yeah, that is where it all starts from. So when the time comes and you need support, these connections are more likely to be there for you. So first up, method number 1 for you to find your host, in case you are lucky to be invited for the interview for the UK Army in the UK, you can reach out to your friends and family. So if you have any relatives or friends in the UK, they might be willing to host you. So for example, if let's say my cousin Janet, who lives in London, was able to host a friend of mine last year, if you don't have direct connections, ask your extended network. So don't just stick it to like your first cousin or your first, I don't know, auntie or first uncle. Is there such a thing? Yeah. So maybe your friend's friend knows someone. Yeah. So remember, these connections are more likely to help if you maintained a good relationship with them. So don't just look at your immediate family only. Look at your extended family. Talk to one family member who might know another family member. And also feel free to talk to your friends. Your friend might know a friend. Number 2 way to find a host in the UK when you are going for the British Army interview is social media and online communities. I have said so much about this and I won't even dwell too much on it. So leverage social media and the different online communities. Join Facebook groups like there's one that I'm a member of. It's called Wanderlust Diaries. It has more than 400,000 members. And a good majority of those people are Africans and maybe 50% are from Kenya. So basically what I would do is just post my request and explain my situation. Again, here, social capital is going to become very real because this is a group that existed. It has its genesis from the days of COVID. That was in February 2020 is when the group was started. So we have the whole of 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 5 years. And this group is a travel group. So basically what happened when the pandemic came and people could not travel, then now people started sharing their experiences, any hidden gems they knew about in Kenya, and just sharing what places they had visited over the years before COVID came. So there's a lot of people posting and just sharing the experiences, and people have continued to post. Whenever somebody's looking for recommendations, they would post in the group and stuff like that. So now, if you have been, so there are people, for example, who have been very consistent with posting. I am one of them. And there's even people I meet and they're like, I know you from somewhere. Where have I seen you? And then we just narrow it down to, oh yeah, I have been following you on Wanderlust Diaries. I have been reading your stories. So it's like, for me, one thing I know, because I am so vocal in that group, I am a known quantity in that group. If I had this need, I am almost certain if I posted my need, I would most definitely find somebody who is willing to host, because I am a known quantity in the group. And that is why, guys, I always say, and those who watch the other video, I was talking about decluttering. You have no business staying in groups that do not serve you. However, if you choose to stay in a group, please don't be an energy vampire. An energy vampire is somebody who is constantly just taking from the group, taking, you just take, and not even one day, excuse me, do you ever even like a comment? You never even like a post. You never ask questions. Nobody knows you in those groups. So the day you need help, you almost look like a pseudo, because people don't even know who you are. And that's why, again, I started off with Social Capital. So that's one of the groups whereby you can just post your request and explain your situation. But if you've been in the group for the last 5 years and you've never even commented anything, I can tell you for free, it's going to be very difficult to find a stranger who is willing to host you. So there's also a group in the diaspora, they call themselves Kwitu, Kenya Women in the US. So that is another group. Even if you're not in that group, you could probably ask somebody that you know is in that group, hey, they probably know somebody who's in the UK. I don't know if we have a similar group for people in the UK, but that's another thing you can do. If you know somebody who's in the Kenya Women in the US group, you can now talk to them and ask them, do you know somebody who's in the UK, for example, yeah? Another important platform is LinkedIn. You could go and try your like there. So again, it depends on how have you been interacting on the platform. Have you been the one who went and posted your profile and never came back to even read other people's articles, comment on their posts? By the way, LinkedIn is a social media platform like any other, only different. It is a professional one, and it is mostly for people who are looking for business connections or for work connections. So make sure, even as you are on LinkedIn, you keep it civil. But there are people that I interact with so much on LinkedIn, I almost feel like I know them. So it applies the same way. Build your social capital way before you need it. So if you're going to use the LinkedIn, for example, you're going to use like this Facebook group. So these online communities, Reddit is another one. Reddit is another one that I know. There's actually a Kenyan community on Reddit. So you can also find for Kenyans in the UK community on Reddit. So it's Reddit. That's the name of that channel, of that social media account, whatever you want to call it. So what you want to do is craft a well thought out message, and you just might get a response. Again, having a history of engaging positively in these communities is what is going to determine whether you get help or not. Another place where you can look for your host is your local community and religious institutions. I have talked about this. I talked about this when I was talking about the green card, those who had won the green card and people who are looking for hosts. By the way, this post also applies to you guys. If you're looking for a host in the US, remember that is one of the requirements. When you win the green card and you go for the interview, you have to fill out who your host is going to be. So don't forget your local community and religious institutions. So here we are talking about churches, we are talking about mosques, synagogues, temples, and community centers. Like if you're a Rotarian, Rotary Club and all that, they often have really strong networks. Talk to your spiritual leader, whether it is the Buddha, whether it is the pastor, whether it is the sheikh, whether it is the, what is the Muslim one? How do you call the Muslim pastor? I've forgotten, whoever it is. And the main reason is because usually, especially in Africa, because we have so many problems, for example, when I'm going to be applying for a visa, I will go and tell the pastor, oh, pastor, please pray for me. I'm going to the embassy tomorrow, okay? Or when I'm applying for the green card, or when I have submitted my application for the UK Army opportunity, I'm going to tell the pastor, when the pastor asks, anybody with a prayer request, I'm going to lift my hand up. And then when I eventually get that army job, or I get whatever it is, if it was a visa for whatever place or reason, then I'll go back to the pastor and tell him, thank you, pastor, you prayed for me and I got my visa. And then the day you're leaving to that country, and then you're going to tell the pastor again, oh, pastor, come to our house and pray for me. So you're going to find that these spiritual leaders, oh, and then when you get to the US or to the UK or Australia, Canada, wherever, you're going to send a chat to your women's guild group or to your women ministry group or Pathfinder Club, whatever those church, mosque, temple groups you guys are in. And you're going to say, praise the Lord, my brothers and sisters, I made it to the US of A. Okay. So that is why these religious institutions can also be where you get help, because you will find the women ministries leader, the Adventist men's leader, whatever, the children ministries leader knows every church member who went to the US last year, or who's going to the UK next week, or who's moving to China next semester. So talk to them, and they'll be willing, more than willing, to help you. But however, this again goes back to social capital. If you are also that church member or that mosque attendee who has never ever supported your church in any way, when the pastor there is sweating on the pulpit asking the congregation to give their tithe and offering, you don't care to give your tithe and offering. When the church is asking for money for construction, you never donate. When they're looking for evangelism funds, you never donate. When they're looking for somebody to play the piano, you never offer yourself, even though you can play. When they're asking for people to join the choir, you have never joined the choir. When they are looking for people to teach the children ministry, you're no longer there. Like, there's nothing you're doing in that church. You're not, when they're looking for a sign language translator, you never volunteer, even though you can translate. Again, if you are not a known quantity in your church, there is no way anybody's going to help you. Because who wants to just send a random stranger to somebody's house in the UK? So that's why, guys, whenever you find yourself in whatever social networks, take space, okay? And I know some of you are going to say, oh, but Eva, I am so shy. You're not shy. You're probably just poor, or you have a low self-esteem. So don't lie to yourself that you're shy. You're not shy. Either poor or low self-esteem. Build your self-esteem or look for money. And people are going to come to talk to you. You won't even need to go and start conversations with them. They are going to be the ones initiating conversations with you. If you don't have money, have self-confidence. Because when you have self-confidence, you're going to look rich. You're going to look like you have money. And you can talk to anybody. You can talk to people. You can build those networks way before you need them. Okay, guys? So again, be a known quantity. Let the pastor know you. Can you imagine you've been in this church for 20 years? The pastor doesn't even know who you are. And then on this day, you're like, Pastor, I'm going to the UK. Can you recommend somebody who can host me? And pastor is like, who are you? Okay. Number 5, where you can find a host for the UK Army interview is through your different alumni. Yeah. So if, let's say, you went to the University of Nairobi, or you went to the Alliance Girls or Alliance Boys, or you went to Karomindo Primary School, and these days, most of these former schoolmates or classmates, they all have WhatsApp groups. So you can check in your WhatsApp group who went where. You're going to likely be able to know that by the phone numbers. You can know by how people interact and stuff like that. Again, this is where social capital comes in. How have you been contributing in the group? Have you just been an energy vampire, just milking contact from the group? Or are you the one who's always just waiting to be controversial in the group? Are you the one who's never giving any informative content? Are you the one who's never contributing? So when people get bereaved, but now suddenly you want somebody to host you. So look at your alumni networks. So if you know someone, or if you or someone who attended a UK university, reach out to the Alumni Association. These networks are very, very, very supportive. So for example, there's gonna be groups of, let's say if you're the one even who went to the UK, or you know somebody who went to the UK, and even if you didn't attend an institution in the UK, asking within your own alumni network can be beneficial. So keeping in touch with your alumni network and participating in events can help strengthen this connection. So again, be a known quantity. Don't just be, what do they call it? An energy vampire. Last but not least, where you can find a host, should you be selected for the UK Army interview. Oh, by the way, guys, so before I even forget, so this host, you have to, so the way it works is that when you will be sub-registering on the UK portal, they're going to ask you to give details of your host. So basically what that means, if you don't have a host, you cannot even register, which means you can't even be called for interview because you can't register. So this is something that is very urgent. Today is the 4th of August. So in 2 weeks' time, the portal is going to open and it closes in a week, that is on the 25th. So it's very, very important if you are looking to use that avenue to immigrate to the UK, then you have to very, very quickly look for a host. So if all the ones I have talked about do not work for you, you can consider local politicians. So local politicians from your home country are one of the very, very, very widely, what can I say, networked people. And the reason again is because, especially in Africa, where you can almost not get a political seat if you don't have money, because during campaigns, you're going to spend a lot of money. And a lot of the politicians rely on the people in the diaspora to fund their campaigns. So usually they already know who is in the diaspora. But in addition to that, they are always looking to build new networks. They want to know, okay, I already know 100 people, but there's no harm in knowing an extra 101 person. So they are more likely willing to help to connect with somebody because they know in the next 5 years, they are going to need your money to fund their campaign. So do not overlook, for example, reaching out to your local MP or your MCA, your senator or your governor. Reach out to them because they most probably know somebody in the diaspora. Last but not least, social media. I don't know what to call them, like people like me, yeah? So if, let's say I am a Zimbabwean and I am looking to go for this interview for the UK Army, then one place would be to look for YouTubers, Zimbabwean YouTubers in the UK, or Zimbabwean TikTokers in the UK, or Zimbabwean Instagrammers in the UK. So basically, people from your country that are in the UK. But again, it's going to be very, very difficult if you have not built rapport with these content creators, and then suddenly you're showing up with a request for them to host you. It's going to be very, very difficult. So again, social capital. When you start following these content creators, again, don't be an energy vampire. There are people who will watch you, stare at you. You're on a YouTube live, or you've just done a video, and all they'll be doing is just milking content from you. They will never say hi. They will never like any video. They will never ask a question. They will never comment until the day that they need help from you. You're not going to get it, my friend. So again, if it is those social media celebrities that you follow, if it is those TikTokers, YouTubers, help them, yeah? And one very easy way you can help a content creator is just by liking their video. Like, it is free to do it, but it goes a long way in terms of the algorithms. You can leave a sweet comment. You can support them with with super chats. You can donate to their channels through PayPal and M-Pesa and all those kind of things. Just be a known quantity to them. Be subscribed for their memberships and stuff like that. So that the day, for example, you will need this kind of help, they will be more than willing to help you. So there you have it. 7 different ways to find a UK host for your British Army, your UK Army interview. Remember, maintaining and nurturing your social capital is key. Start building those relationships long before you need them. If you found this video helpful, please do give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who you think might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on relocating and career opportunities abroad. Good luck, and I will see you all guys on the next video. Thank you so much for those who commented, those who said hello, those who liked the video. I don't take it for granted. So bye guys.